What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another how-to video for Nioh 2. Now in this video, following up from the last, we're going to be talking about Mezuki. Now Mezuki is a demon with the head of a horse. It can be seen in various pictures, scrolls depicting images of hell, torturing the wicked alongside the bull-headed demon Gozuki. However, its appearances and legend have also placed it outside of its underworld domain. Most notably, it is one of the demons on parade in the famous Hayaki Yaguyo night parade of 100 demons that is written about in the Uji Shui Monogatari of early 13th century. Now, sorry if I butchered any of that pronunciation and you guys are very fluent in that language, but with that being said, I'm going to put Mezuki as the second boss in Nioh 2. Even though it is the final boss of mission 1, you still have to fight Gozuki, which I think is just as hard if you haven't mastered the mechanics, but by now you should be able to use your burst counter as well as your soul core attack, making this fight a lot easier than the Gozuki one. Now, of course, for starters, the weakness point or the vulnerable point on Mezuki is of course going to be on its back. Now, when you do the attacks, it's going to allow your damage to double, so just keep that in mind that if you can get behind Mezuki and manage to stay behind her for a limited amount of time while you're doing your combo attacks, you'll actually be doing quite a bit of damage. Now, with that being said, of course, what I recommend is that you stay in a low stance for a majority of this fight. Now, again, with the low stance, it's not going to allow you to do as much damage as you would with a mid stance or maybe even a high stance. But with that being said, just because Mezuki does a lot of attacks that are a little bit hard to dodge, especially in a mid or high stance, you're going to want to be in that low stance because it does favor dodging, so that way you can get out of dodge, or if you absolutely need to, go ahead and guard. It is going to make the fight a little bit longer, but I mean, as long as you can manage it and you don't get too flustered or you don't get too frustrated with the amount of time it's taken, it will actually allow you to maintain most of your health as well as your heals, because that's going to be important for this fight. Now, as you made your way up to Mezuki throughout this mission, you actually learned how to do a move which is called a burst counter. Now, burst counter is going to be super important throughout this entire game, and especially with the bosses. So what you'll notice is that when you fought Gozuki and he did that power move where he had that red aura around him, Mezuki does the same, as well as a bunch of other monsters throughout this game. But this time you're going to be able to do what's called a burst counter. So if you look at your health bar and then you look at your ki bar, your stamina, below that you'll have a purple bar. This is going to be your anima or your yokai, I don't even know, a yokai key, whatever you want to call it. It's just called anima. Now, as long as you actually have some anima on that bar, you'll be able to do a burst counter, which is R2 and circle on PlayStation, against Mezuki. So what you'll notice is that when you do the burst counter and he's trying to do a power attack, this will actually stop that power attack and actually take away some of his ki, which will allow you to get in a couple of combo attacks, and it might even allow you to drain his ki all the way, which will of course allow you to stagger him as you're doing hits or combos against him, of course making sure that you maintain and you stay behind him, so that way you just get those extra crit points. Now, of course, when you do the burst counter and you drain the ki, you could as well follow up with a grapple attack. It's just all up to you, just whatever you recommend, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't want to tell you this is exactly what you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because some of your comfortability levels, especially with this being the second boss only in Nioh 2, may differ. So again, you can do that burst counter, follow up with some combos, or you can do the burst counter and you can follow up with the grapple attack. Okay, so by now you should be able to shift into your yokai form, which is going to be triangle and circle on the PlayStation paddle. Now, with that being said, what I recommend is that you only shift into the yokai form whenever you're not in the yokai realm. Now, a lot of you may be wondering why, and I just find that it's easier to get your attack points in. This is going to be a limited amount of time where your attack damage is increased quite a bit. Now, this needs to also be a time where you can actually get those attack moves on him without actually getting hurt or draining your health, etc. So that's why I recommend not doing it in the yokai realm and doing it in the regular, because with doing it in the regular in your yokai form, you can just run in and start hitting those combos, draining his ki, and obviously following up with more combos, and then you just keep staggering and staggering and staggering. This is going to be super important, but obviously you're going to want to make sure that your anima bar is full all the way, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to shift into that yokai form. Now, speaking of yokai realm, once Mezuki enters the yokai realm, or you both actually enter the yokai realm, what I recommend is you just keep your distance and you just try to dodge or guard as much as you can and stay alive, because he will come out of that yokai realm, which is going to be important because when he's in that yokai realm, his attack damage is increased. the amount of attacks that he does is increased, and how fast he does them is increased. So what I recommend is just using the surrounding area that you can to kind of run around him. Obviously, if you get into a corner, time his attack so that way you can get out of the corner, he's in the corner, and then you can kind of back up into the middle of the map or the middle of the arena. Okay, the perfect time to attack Mezuki is obviously going to be after the burst counter, but also when he does his triple swing. So you'll notice this isn't a power move or anything, it's just a regular triple swing. He'll do 1, 2, 3, and then if you can run in, you can actually get behind him, and he does give you some time to go ahead and hit him in the back with whatever combos that you have. So this is definitely a time that you're going to want to hit him. I definitely recommend that this is probably the only time you try to run in and charge him. Unlike Gozuki, the thing with Mezuki is that even though he may be done with a combo attack, he will follow up with one rather frequently or rather quickly, which doesn't give you a lot of time to get in there. So if you dodge it, right, unlike Gozuki, you can't just run in and get your attacks and then dodge back out. So what I recommend is only attacking whenever he does his triple swing. This will kind of keep you in the clear, save some of your health, and of course save some of your elixirs. Now another important thing that's overlooked is that as you're going throughout mission 1, you will notice that you're picking up what's called a lantern plant fruit. This is going to be something that you can consume, and it does recharge your anima. Obviously your anima is very important because it's going to make sure that you have enough anima to do your burst counters, which is going to let you get a lot of damage in. Having enough anima or having your anima bar full is going to allow you to shift into that yokai form. So as you pick these up, make sure that you put these on your shortcut, so that way they're easily accessible and usable throughout this battle. You probably won't have a ton. You'll most likely have around 3 or 5, but they do come in handy if you want to use your burst counter or shift into your yokai form. Another important thing as we go into the next tip with the anima is that you're going to want to be using your soul core attack as often as possible, as long as you have enough to maintain your burst counter. So as you're fighting throughout mission 1, you got a soul core, you equip that soul core attack, and now you can actually use it. I believe it's like R2 in square or R2 in triangle. When you press R2 and you look up at the top left of the screen, you'll actually see wherever it is equipped. This is going to allow you to do quite a bit of damage, similar to like a grapple attack, but the first one that you pick up is going to be the monkey dance, I believe. I don't think it changes. With that being said, this is going to be a ranged attack that you're going to be able to hit Mezuki with for around 400 to 500 damage. So when you're pretty far away from Mezuki, or maybe you just dodge an attack, you're going to want to go ahead and use this soul core attack, because that's going to do a ton of damage against him. Again, you don't want to spam this too much just because you want to save your anima bar for that burst counter. And if you don't have enough for the burst counter and you try to do it, I've done this plenty of times. I yell at the top of my lungs. I rage quit because the burst counter should have worked and it didn't, all because I wasn't managing my anima properly. Alright, so those are my tips for fighting Mezuki. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for daily videos. If you guys have any suggestions for videos, how-tos, maybe another boss that you're having issues with, I will do a how-to for each boss for this series. So if you have questions surrounding anything else, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I will go ahead and follow up with a video or follow up with a reply to something to hopefully help you guys. Again, there is an online mode with this, so if you guys are having issues, maybe I could jump in. I'll put my gamer tag. I'll start putting that in the descriptions below. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.